The Zaryox forces were rapidly descending upon Earth. As their massive soldiers emerged from the ships, chaos erupted in the cities. Their weapons were far more advanced than anything humans had, destroying buildings with each shot. Korix, watching from his ship hovering above the planet, observed the advance of his army with confidence. "This planet is too weak to resist," Korix said, his hands clasped behind his back. However, the steady flow of reports on the invasion's success abruptly stopped. Something unexpected was happening on Earth. In the narrow streets of the city, the Zaryox soldiers started noticing something strange. They began hearing barking. What at first seemed like distant sounds soon revealed the presence of dogs tracking them. Baxter and the other dogs were navigating the labyrinthine streets, picking up the Zaryox's scent. Their keen sense of smell allowed them to detect even the smallest traces left by the aliens. A group of Zaryox soldiers hiding in a building they had turned into a secret operations center was startled by the barking outside. Seconds later, the door burst open, and humans stormed inside. Thanks to the dogs tracking the alien spies, Cyrus and his team launched a surprise attack. The Zaryox, despite their advanced technology, had never anticipated that something as simple as a dog's sense of smell could be so effective. Cyrus knelt beside his dog, Baxter. "Good job, boy," he murmured, as Baxter carefully circled a Zaryox spy lying on the ground. This silent enemy had managed to break through the Zaryox defenses, exploiting their vulnerabilities. Meanwhile, on another front, a cat named Whiskers was stealthily approaching a Zaryox base. His furry body moved so quietly that he was almost invisible. The Zaryox had considered humans a threat, but no one could have imagined that these four-legged creatures would sabotage their plans. The cat crept down a dark corridor, reaching the enemy's strategic room. Climbing the walls and slipping through ventilation shafts, Whiskers quietly entered the room where the commanders were gathered, discussing their battle strategies. The Zaryox officers, engrossed in their war plans, were completely unaware of the cat's presence. Whiskers, without making a sound, perked up his ears and listened. He absorbed every word, gathering intel about the aliens' weaknesses and their upcoming attack plans. As soldiers passed in and out of the room, the cat moved through them as if he were part of the scenery. Once Whiskers had everything he needed, he slipped out just as quietly as he had entered. Thanks to the cat's intelligence gathering, Eleanor and Cyrus now had the crucial information they needed to act. In the midst of battle. As the battle raged on, the Zaryox forces found themselves increasingly overwhelmed. The enemy wasn't just the humans, but their dogs and cats as well. Baxter and other trained dogs were ferreting out Zaryox troops hiding in every corner, exposing them to surprise attacks. With every step the Zaryox took, they encountered an unexpected threat. One Zaryox commander, shouting at his soldiers, barked orders. "Find the humans and eliminate them. Why are we losing so many soldiers?" At that moment, Baxter barked, pointing toward a nearby building. Cyrus and his team moved swiftly in the direction the dog had indicated. Inside, they found a Zaryox command center where a new assault plan was being prepared. Baxter, running around the building, used his sense of smell to pinpoint the enemy positions. Following the dog's lead, the humans launched another surprise attack. The Zaryox, unable to combat this silent yet deadly enemy, were quickly overwhelmed. On the other side of the city, the information gathered by Whiskers had given Eleanor a significant advantage. She and her team hacked into the Zaryox communication lines, isolating their units from each other. The cat was noticing minute details that human scouts would have missed, silently observing the enemy's movements. With this intel, they trapped the Zaryox units before they could regroup. Standing atop a building, Eleanor called out to her team, "The cats have completely disrupted their communications. Now's our chance to strike." Using the intelligence silently gathered by the cats and the positions revealed by the dogs, the humans began drawing the Zaryox forces into a trap. While the dogs sniffed out enemy positions, the cats infiltrated strategic zones and provided valuable information. The highly advanced alien species had never anticipated that humans would turn their pets into such effective allies. The Zaryox's last stand. As the battle neared its end, Korix was losing his mind. "This is impossible. They're just animals," he screamed in the command center. But the Zaryox Empire had been met with an unexpected adversary. Humans, alongside their animals, were fighting as one, and despite the Zaryox's superior technology, Earth's secret weapons were winning the day. As Korix desperately issued his final orders, Baxter and the other dogs were already tracking him, setting him up for another ambush. When the last remnants of Zaryox's resistance were crushed, Whiskers lay stretched out on the sidelines, basking in the victory like the humans around him. No one had expected the cats and dogs to be so effective, but now Earth had won its freedom thanks to them. Eleanor glanced at Whiskers with a faint smile. Looks like it wasn't just the humans who changed Earth's fate. The war was over, but the true heroes behind this victory were loyal animals like Baxter and Whiskers. The Zaryox Empire's pride had been shattered, and their technological superiority had fallen to the cooperation of humans and their animal allies. For the Zaryox forces, Earth had initially seemed like an easy prey. However, things quickly turned against them. Despite their technological superiority, humans and their loyal animal companions continued to resist the Zaryox soldiers. The war had reached an unexpected turning point. As explosions echoed through the city, the Zaryox soldiers were losing more and more of their ranks. Humans, with the help of their dogs and cats, successfully thwarted the invaders' ambushes. Korix stood in the control room, staring grimly at the destruction around him. "This is impossible," he muttered. "How can such simple creatures defend this planet?" But the answer lay in the combination of human intelligence and animal instincts. Korix tried sending more troops to regain control, but these efforts were also futile. Every Zaryox soldier discovered by the rebel dogs and ambushed fell helplessly. Baxter and other trained dogs could even sniff out the most secretive Zaryox plans. The counterattack in the city center, the Zaryox were preparing another assault. This time, they aimed to gather all their forces and launch a massive operation to wipe out the humans. Their alien technology included enormous war machines and advanced weaponry. But humans were ready for them. Eleanor and Cyrus, using their dogs' tracking abilities, had located the Zaryox command center. Eleanor looked up at the sky from the hill she stood on. "It's time to move," she thought. She signaled Baxter beside her. "We need to end this." Baxter understood his leader's command and charged forward. His long training had prepared him for this exact moment. Sniffing his way through, he quickly located the buildings and bunkers where the aliens were hiding. The Zaryox soldiers had not accounted for the dogs' abilities. Many of them even underestimated the animals, seeing them as mere pets. But Baxter, advancing quietly towards the enemy lines, worked like a deadly machine. In a bunker that Baxter discovered, the Zaryox had hidden their ammunition and communication center. Humans used this crucial information to launch a sudden attack. The Zaryox soldiers, caught off guard, were swiftly overrun and destroyed. On another front, Whiskers was also fulfilling his mission. Silently sneaking through enemy lines, he observed the weak points of the Zaryox command center. The cat's incredible stealth allowed them to repeatedly trap the Zaryox forces. Whiskers slipped through the ventilation shafts of the building and entered the room where the most secret information was kept. Maps and communication devices left on the commander's table caught the cat's attention. Whiskers walked across the table without arousing any suspicion. His fur barely touched the maps as he examined them. Ears perked up as he listened to the distant Zaryox commanders gathering silently. Afterward, he left as quietly as he had come. The strategic information Whiskers gathered provided Eleanor and Cyrus with a significant advantage in how to defeat the enemy. The final battle as night fell, the Zaryox soldiers gathered for one last assault. They planned to destroy the city's strategic points and force the humans to surrender. However, there was one thing they hadn't realized. The humans, with the help of their pets, were tracking their every move. Baxter and the other dogs, with their sharp sense of smell, had foiled the Zaryox soldiers' plans. Every corner, every hiding spot the aliens used was quickly identified by the dogs, who directed the humans to the correct targets. The Zaryox forces were ambushed one after another. This silent war, led by dogs, had caught the aliens completely unprepared. Cyrus, holding his laser rifle, approached the Zaryox main camp. "This time, there's no escape," he said calmly. Looking at the dogs around him, he added, "Show them whose planet this is." Even the largest war machines the Zaryox had were rendered useless. Despite their advanced technology, the simple combination of animal instincts and human intelligence had left them helpless. Every shot, Every movement pushed the Zaryox further into a corner. Korix's end panic was growing in the command center. Korix stared at the plans in his hands, standing in his ship. But it was clear that he didn't understand. "How can we lose with such powerful technology?" he shouted. The officers beside him remained silent. No one had an answer. At that moment, a pack of dogs launched an attack on the command center. Led by Baxter, the dogs broke through the final defense line of the Zaryox officers. As Korix retreated in shock, he noticed Baxter approaching, baring his teeth. Thanks to the dogs' sharp sense of smell, they had discovered Korix's secret escape tunnel. A short time later, as Korix's ship was about to take off, it was stopped by the dogs. Cyrus and his team captured Korix, delivering the final blow. The once proud commander of the Zaryox Empire had been defeated, thanks to the animal's help. Korix let out one last scream. "This is impossible. We are the strongest race in the universe." But by then, it was too late. Victory as the war ended, the city slowly began returning to normal. People thanked their animal companions, who had helped save them, while heroes like Baxter and Whiskers were celebrated as the real victors. Humans had won not just with technology or strategy, but also with the abilities of their loyal animal companions. In the midst of the victory celebrations, Eleanor looked at Baxter and smiled. "They were our secret weapons," she said softly. Whiskers, too, lay quietly nearby, leaving his paw prints in the city's streets. Earth had reclaimed its freedom, won with the help of its animals. The Zaryox Empire had been defeated in a way they could never have anticipated, by humans and their loyal animal companions. I hope you had a good time. If you liked my story, do not forget to comment and subscribe to my channel. Goodbye, see you in the next story.